that's what, people pay money, they get their popcorn, they get their drink, they sit in the stands, and they sit back and they watch you compete against each other. Just like on the plantation, they used to have sporting events on plantations and things like that, and entertainment, right? So it doesn't mean athletes are just worthless people. I think that there are athletes out there that are smart, that have a lot of potential. I like the guy Jalen Brown that plays for the Celtics. Jalen Brown actually, when he signed his contract, he actually said he wants to create a Black Wall Street with his contract. And I've never met Jalen. I know someone said, "Hey, I want to introduce you to Jalen because I know Jalen's brother," and it never materialized. But I'd love to meet him and give him. If Jalen sees this, like, hey, I'll give you my 2 cents. You don't have to pay me anything. I don't even want to. I don't need to be involved or anything. I just would love to tell you what you could do with that money because I think a lot could be done. But there has to be a certain structure of thinking, right? There has to be a mindset. Remember, we were talking about this, building children that understand systems and delegation and how to create structure, how to create infrastructure. Because the black community, that's what you're lacking. You're lacking infrastructure. So when you need infrastructure, you turn to white people. When you need structure, you don't turn to each other because your community doesn't always have the structure that it needs. Your institutions were burned down and destroyed during integration. Integration burned down the family pretty much. That was one institution, that was one type of structure. Your mother, father, children, that was ruined. Now it's just babies, mamas, and single moms raising their kids and all that. When that structure's gone, a lot of economic chaos arises out of that. Not just economic chaos, but socio economic chaos, psychological chaos, right? Community chaos, lots of violence, all that. If you go to Chicago, what you see in Chicago when you see drill rappers run around with machine guns shooting each other down because somebody made a rap song, I guarantee you that there are no strong fathers. There are very few strong fathers in those communities. That's just the reality, right? So what my point is on this is to say that um, not while not every athlete, this would be never to say that athletes are just wasteful buffoons, but in many cases, athletes, because they are so busy being athletes, are not necessarily trained in the skill sets required to really build a community, right? A builder has to be trained to be a builder. A builder spends his time learning how to build. Um, True building, for example, if you look at Elon Musk creating SpaceX and Tesla, right, where they created hundreds of thousands of jobs for people in their communities. They're building rocket ships that are going to go into outer space. They put hundreds, if not thousands, of satellites into outer space. There was a lot of time that thousands of people spent doing nothing but building, right? The engineers at SpaceX are not dribbling basketballs and throwing footballs in their spare time to try to make extra income. They're sitting there and they're studying engineering systems that will allow them to make sure that the chemical calibration of the electrical nodes coming through to the satellite are appropriate so that the rocket doesn't blow up when they launch it into space, right? They're spending time building and they're building with other builders, and there's a structure around that. Do you follow me? There's a structure, there's an organizational framework with hundreds, if not thousands of people all working together without being distracted by a bunch of other stuff to actually get a project done. Not just one project, but many projects. They're releasing new robots every few months, all kinds of things. Driverless cars. These are systems that come out of a structure. So this is all stuff that they've been training to do for their whole lives, right? You've got thousands of 50-year-olds who never spent any time dreaming of going to the NBA or the NFL.